Well, the Greek problem may have been booted down the road, but now another debt nail-biter looms. Talks in Washington to get the US debt ceiling lifted have stalled, and without a deal, August the 2nd is the day beyond which the United States cannot pay its way. The International Monetary Fund has stepped into the row, warning the debt ceiling must be lifted because the alternative is default. And that would be a severe shock to the financial system, to say the least. Here's Emily Stewart.
With 2 decade-long wars, a massive bailout of the financial sector and a stalled economy, the United States has been racking up debts that have now reached breaking point.
If the United States government, for the first time, cannot pay its bills, if it defaults, then the consequences for the U.S. economy will be significant and unpredictable.
Congress has been debating how to deal with the debt problem, with Democrats pushing for tax increases and Republicans focusing on spending cuts.
Now, the central challenge for U.S. authorities, as suggested in my remarks so far and in our analysis, is to develop a credible fiscal strategy that would put public debt back onto a sustainable path without hindering the ongoing recovery.
In a report on the US, the International Monetary Fund called on Congress to increase the current $14.3 trillion debt ceiling, saying if this isn't done, global markets will suffer, given the central role of US Treasury bonds. It also warns the US could face a credit rating downgrade.
Priority should be to stabilize the public debt to GDP ratio by mid-decade and gradually reduce it afterwards.
We don't know how capital markets will react. But if capital markets suddenly decide, you know what, the U.S. government doesn't pay its bills, so we're going to start pulling our money out. That means higher interest rates for businesses. That means higher interest rates for consumers. So all the headwinds that we're already experiencing in terms of the recovery will get worse.
Warwick McKibben, a board member of the Reserve Bank, says the US debt crisis will have an impact on Australia.
Historically, whenever they've hit the debt ceiling, this has not been a problem, but at the moment we're in a period of very severe fiscal uncertainty, and particularly with Greece and other parts of Europe. So it is possible that hitting the ceiling, causing some disruptions in the US economy, could unnerve markets.
Treasurer Wayne Swan, however, says he's confident the US will find a solution.
I myself am an optimist about the United States economy. I'm an optimist about that country, about its society and about its capacity to grow. But certainly the outcomes have not been ideal there in the last quarter.
Dr Martin Koenigs from the US Studies Centre at the University of Sydney says it's likely Congress will agree to the increase.
Especially given the dramatic ramifications that it would have, I think it is highly unlikely that they actually will fail to raise the debt limit.
Wayne Swan says regardless of which way US leaders turn, the impact on Australia will be limited because of the global growth shift from the west to the east.
We're not immune from what is going on elsewhere in the world, but we're in the right place at the right time with the right institutions and the right economic outcomes, and the outlook for us is strong.
The United States Congress has until the 2nd of August to increase the debt ceiling.